Janko say him now work pan Sunday. Now work him now work pan Sunday. No. Pan a Sunday. Remember them tune there? You don't know them tune there. You don't remember them tune there because you weren't there. Some boom days, trust. King Kong. King Kong. Touring string. Right, what am I going to play? On my horn. I've got my trusty horn. I never did show you my horn. Look at this. 2 tones. Can you see this? Is it going to? Yeah, look at that. It's beautiful. Beautiful. We've got rose brass here on the lead pipe. Yeah. We've got gold brass on the block, piston block. And, I don't know if you can see this. Is it on that side? We've got nickel brass here. And on the bell, nickel. Yeah, it's beautiful. Beautiful. Moose Lady B flat. Trumpet. Yeah, man. Made from cheap Chinesium. But hey, you know what? Does the job. And it's important because, you know, when I'm working in the Skylab, right? And I'm fixed, my eyes are fixed to the computer for hours and hours and hours and hours. I just wanted something I could pick up to break up the monotony. Blow something, you know, blow my frustrations out through my horn. And that's what this is for, you know. My B flat. Moose Lady B flat. Trumpet. Yeah, man. It's great. Anyway, what am I going to play? What shall I play? Yeah. This is my warm-up sequence. And I do that in various octaves. And do it at the high end. Because it's just getting my lips used to buzzing. And then do it at the high G, because that was C. Go to the high G. Well, call it high G. G at the top of the stave, because that's not really the high G, because you've got Gs that go crazy. Crazy high. And the next one up is the high C, which I struggle to get the high C, but I can get it sometimes. I'm gonna give it a go, but if it don't work, don't write in and complain, okay? 6 months I've been on this, so give me some slack. High C. See if we can do it. Just for you lot. Yeah, baby, it's all good. Right, let's jazz it up a bit. Donde eso. Okie dokie. What are we talking about today? I hope you lot's lockdown is being productive. You know, time is stretching. Some people are going crazy. Some people, like me, our lives haven't changed that much. No, not because of the lockdown, but it's changed in terms of focusing on being more creative. But other than that, yeah, it is what it is. We're making the most of what we've got. Anyway, today I would like to talk about my workflow. I've been doing zines. I just finished another zine yesterday. It's taken me about 2 weeks from start to finish. It's another 32 pager, full color. Those of you who have not seen the zines, these are some of the ones that I have done so far. You know, I've got 5 of them, and I'm going to keep showing these because this is it's really important. You know, in terms of photography, a lot of photography today is stuck on a computer or stuck on a hard drive or stuck in a camera, which is not really what photography was supposed to be about or intended to be about in the beginning. You know, it was about printing stuff, capturing stuff, printing and sharing, yeah, with the world. So anyway, in this lockdown time, I can't go out and shoot events. So I've been going over my back catalogue of events that I've shot over the years and turning them into zines. Physical little booklets. Yeah, these are actual booklets. Yeah, pages, you can see the pages there, flick through them. With images that I've shot over the years. This was the first one, which is all about homeschooling. And this one was only 16 pages. But it's something I'm really proud of, which is why I always talk about it. Yeah. Here's another one. This one's 16 pages as well. This was part 2, part 1, part 2. Yeah, 16 pages of some photography based around my homeschooling exploits. Yeah, but I have a workflow of how I put these things together. You know, you don't just grab up some images and send them to print, sort of thing. There's thought behind the story from front cover right the way through, each page at a time. There's a process, a flow, a story, a direction that each picture, each image, you know, tells its part of the story. In these first editions, they've got a lot of, there's a lot of like words, text, content, body text in it. In the later ones, these like personal ones, and this wedding one, not so much words, it's the pictures tell the story. So it is even more crucial to have, you know, a flow being told, a story being told by the pictures that makes sense from page to page. So it becomes really important how you decide which pictures you decide to use, which page you decide to put them on, you know, so that it flows and tells the story of that event. Yeah. And, you know, after doing X amount of these, I've done, well, six sent my 6th one to Mixam Print yesterday, which is the printer that I use, which are very good, and I highly recommend you checking out Mixam Print. You know, their interface I find very, easy to use. But then that's me, I was a production editor for many years, and I worked in this field, putting magazines together for a living. That's what I did for about 10 years. So for me, obviously, it may be a bit more easy and straightforward, but I would say still check it out, because, the proof is in the pudding, is right here. And to me, as I said, it's quite straightforward. So anyway, what was I saying? The story is very, what's going to grab the reader or the person. Can you call them a reader if there's no words in it? As you can see, there's not many words in this. There are a few words on some of the pages, but it's maybe 1 or 2 liners. I can't even find one with words on it, but there are some words in this. I wanted it to be more image heavy than word heavy, because it's something just to, this is my brother here. His daughter here was getting married, and I just happened to be there with my camera. Yeah. And I took these pictures. So anyway, I put them together in this lovely zine, which I've sent to them and a few of the family members, and they really love the zine. They really love it. So it's all good. So the workflow. I always start by, this is the street photography one. This is the one that's on sale. This is the one that I'm encouraging you all to get a copy of. This is my love, street photography. And the same thing, it's a story. There is a flow from start through editorial page to my, first, second, third, fourth, and each image goes with its counterpart and tells part of the story. So storytelling is a real important skill when it comes to putting together a zine, because it can really be jarring having images that don't really go together. I think it's a mistake to, when you're compiling the images that's going to go into your zine, to just get all the best images that you've ever taken and put them in the zine, because then you'll just have a product which is just hitting you. Brilliant image, brilliant image, brilliant image. I mean, you want all the images to be good images, but what's more important, I think, when you're putting together a zine, is that there is a story, so that people don't just get bombarded with all these stunning image, stunning image, stunning image, stunning. Some of the images might not be stunning, but they tell a story, so it works in the flow. And if you think of it like when you go to a dance, right, or you go to a club, the DJ don't just play all the hits. I mean, some DJs do, but those are radio DJs. They're not, well, I don't want to diss anybody, but they're not really, club DJs. A club DJ and a radio DJ are 2 different animals. One plays in a room where they can't see no one, so they've just got to play hits, to try and hope that people are listening and that the numbers go up. A club DJ is watching. He's watching the crowd. He's watching to see who's dancing, So, yeah, he wants everyone to dance, but he doesn't want everybody to just be on hyper all the way through. Otherwise, people will collapse. So he brings the energy up. He brings the energy down. He brings it round to a slow jams, and he brings it up, and he's working on the mood, and he's working on the vibes, and he's watching, and he knows exactly what to select. That's the same when you lay out a zine. You have your record box of images, just getting the pool of images that I wanted to put in the zine. Yeah, because in this wedding, I can't remember how many images I took, but it must have been at least 800 images. So you have to sift through all those images to produce a pool of images that you want to use in your zine. Now that pool of images, like in the last zine that I've just done, which is all based around the Nation of Islam. Some of the events that I've shot at the Nation of Islam, it has, it covers maybe 6 or 7 different events. So those 6 or 7 events, can you imagine how many hundreds of images I've had to go through to get to a pool of images? So I'm pulling from those events. I may pull 5 images from one event, and then 6 images from another event, and then 8 images from another event. But I've got to go through all of this. So just pulling the images can take 2, 3, 4 days. Just pulling the images that I might use. Doesn't mean I'm necessarily gonna use them, but the ones that I think might tell the story. Because when I'm pulling the images, I haven't actually got necessarily the story that I want to tell, because there's many different stories you can tell. There's many different directions you can go down. So I'm just pulling images. This is the workflow that I go through. I'm pulling images to go in a zine. Once I've got all the images that I want to use, maybe 200, 300 images, then the first thing I do is go through all those images, and one image will stand out and say front cover. Yeah. One image will stand out above all the others. It will just jump out at me. Pa! Front cover. So that's the first thing I do. Once I've got that front cover image, I produce my front cover. And it will just jump out at you. Bam! And say front cover. Front cover. You'll feel it. You'll see it. It will just jump out. Bam! Front cover. That's what it will say. Front cover. Here you go. You can't miss it. It'll be in there. It talks to you. Front cover. Yeah. Pow! Front cover. And it's usually an uncluttered image. It's usually something simple like this. That's what you want, especially if you're going to put words on it. So once we've got the front cover image, I've produced the front cover, I've got the banner and all that set out in Photoshop. So these are all on layers. And I'll produce the front cover. Then once I've got the front cover, the next, I'll go through the pool again. And the next image I'm looking for is back cover. An image will jump out in the same way that I said front cover, but this time it'll say back cover. So you can see on these ones, I'll show you. Back cover, bam. The image will just jump out, this is focusing, and it will say back cover. These are personal zines that I've done for people, so I'm not really going to show you too much inside them. Back cover, yeah. Back, front, back. And the same goes for, there you go, there's a wedding one, that's the back. Once you've got the front and you've got the back, your story has a beginning and an end. And then you can work out. You've got an idea in where you want to go now, because you've got a front cover and a back cover. And then work out the inside front and the inside back to go with it, because it's really a separate entity, the front cover and the inside. I mean, the covers and front cover and the back covers are usually a separate entity, because I print them at a thicker weight than these pages. So there's my inside front cover. And here's my inside back cover. Yeah. And they're important as well, because really they're the last things you're going to see before you close the book. So once you've got all that sorted, once all that is done, front cover, back cover, inside front, inside back. Now, the next thing I go for, this is how I do it. I'm not saying this is the only way to do it. I go for the center page spread. I look for my center page in my pool. There it is. This is the street photography. My center page spread is right there. They go right the way across. Yeah? Center page, very important. Because usually, when you flip open one of these zines, that's where it'll open, center. Center page is the wedding. Center page, I was on the balcony looking down and got this beautiful shot. So, bam, center page spread, baby. It's important. Bam, homeschooling, center page spread. This is the image that you want really to grab people. Bam. So when they reach reach the center, like, whoa, look at that center page, man. That's just firing live. For live. Center page spread. It's the essence. The center page is the essence of what the zine is about. You reach halfway in the story. Yeah? So now you got the front, you got the back, inside front, inside back, got the center page in your story. So I tend to work from the center and I start going backwards towards the front. Inserting the pages in, because you can see the story then. So you can go backwards or you can go forwards to the end. But I tend to go from the center and then go backwards till I reach where we need to reach. Yeah? So there we go. We've got the center and we go backwards. What have I got on the next page there? There you go. So it just helps you to slot in where things go in the story. And you may have images that are really brilliant, but they don't fit into the story. And the struggle is for you to not put them in. Go with the story. Yeah. So here's the center, then we go towards the back. Yeah. This could have been the center. I was thinking of making this the center because my son wrote a book. This was his first book that he published. I was gonna make that the center page, but then I remembered that this edition is about the whole family, not just about him. So sorry, son, you have to go with the rest of the family on the center page. Here he is, up here, yeah. So you had to go with the rest of the family, and then his achievement could come on the next page, which is the book, Guardian Angel, yeah, the magenta conflict, yeah. So yeah. And then you go on and you go on and you go on and go forth. Once you've got those pages and the story starts to unfold, look, there's a little story about me. Yeah, like I even put my own little story. My photography and stuff is in there, and homeschooling. Well, this is my edition anyway, so I had to put that in. But yeah, once you've got the story, once you've got those main sections, then it will flow a lot easier, and it'll be easier for you to select what images go in. Yeah, I'm tending to make bigger books now, 36 pages. I don't think I'm going to make any more than 16. Yeah, there you go. This is a street photography one. You got high key and you got low key. You see how they work together? They're opposites. Opposites attract. So them say. Yeah, what we got here? Yeah, we've got some more. We've got the fan ho kind of silhouette style. Yeah. And they're both going the same way. Notice that. That's all part of the story as well. That's all part of it. You've got to look to make sure that the images don't contradict or fall apart or counteract. Yeah. So there you go. Signage. Signage. So really, it's an exercise in storytelling and putting together your stories and your flow. Getting your flow right. And with me producing 6 of these babies, it's getting there, you know. And it's so exciting when you finally, you know, get it all together, because it takes me about 3 days. Once I've got the first proof, once I've got all the images and I've put them in their places, that's a rough proof of what the zine's going to be. And then I'll put words in if I need to put words in. So I'm going through and I'm putting word boxes in and filling up the text and working out what to say. And that can take a while as well. So I'll kind of put a rough block of text in. It might not be the right block of text, a rough block of text as to what, so I can get to see what it will look like here in the corner. We got this rough block of text here. That was just a rough block of text to start with. But I knew I wanted it to look that way. So then I had to work out what I wanted it to actually say. Same with this here. Yeah. So that takes another couple of days. It's working out where this text box should go and what it should actually say. And yeah, as I'm not that great a speller, I have to check everything and check it twice, and sometimes get, you know, somebody to read it through. so that it makes sense. And that takes another couple of days. Yeah. But I try to make it take as long as it needs to take, because if you rush it, that's when the errors come in. So the last process is what I call the flight process. That's the process of taking it from from second proof to flight proof. So all the images are laid on the pages. They're just put there. They're not actually sized. So then I have to go through in Photoshop, turn them into CMYK, which is print proof, because they are RGB files at the moment. So you convert them to CMYK, you size them to the right physical size, so that you don't have to scale it up, so that it'll just fit straight on the page. And I go through one at a time, producing the finished PDFs that I'm going to send over to Mixam Print. Yeah, and that takes X amount of days, X amount of hours. And then I'll leave it for another couple of hours just so that I can look at it for the last time with a fresh mind, and then I'll send them. And then it's gone. Yeah. Zine is sent to bed. It has flown the nest, and you feel like a proud parent as you watch your zine fly away from the nest for the first time. And it's always exciting waiting for it to come back. That feeling of excitement, it reminds me of back in the days when we used to have film cameras, and you used to take your images to the chemist, and then that feeling of excitement as you waited for them to develop them. What's it gonna look like when it comes back? It's hard to explain, but I always feel that feeling, and I'm getting that feeling now. So now for the next week, I'm not gonna go on not for the next week, next couple of days, I'm not gonna go on that computer at all. I'm not gonna look at the images. I'm gonna focus completely on something different. And in a few days time, we'll get the finished zine through the post, God willing, and we'll see. So there you have it. That is the process. That is the workflow of waiting to exhale in the house of Aisha. Yeah? And I hope that's helped some of you to maybe take a step towards printing something. You know? It is print time in the 21st century. Copies of these are still available. You know, I give a big thanks to those who have ordered them. You know, it's pretty straightforward ordering. It's pretty straightforward. You know, it could be a lot easier. Still haven't worked out how to do a PayPal button. I think on WordPress, you've got to go up to the business rate one, which is, I just don't think it's worth paying all that money just to get a PayPal button. So in the meantime, just email me. Send me your email address if you'd like a copy of the street photography one, or the homeschooling ones, because those are the ones that are for sale. The others are personal ones and they're not for sale. So the street photography homeschooling edition 2 or homeschooling edition 1 is still available. Yeah. So just send me your email address and I can send you an invoice, a PayPal invoice. And then once that is dealt with, I'll send you the zine, and it's working very well. Prices are £12.50 if you are in the UK. If you're overseas, £15.50. You might have to work out what that means wherever you are. But £15.50 should cover postage and packaging if you are overseas. So we'll take it from there. Yeah. Good. It's been a long one. Hope and pray that something has stuck that would help us to connect better in this time of lockdown. Let's make the most of what we have. Zoom. Peace. Should play out on my trumpet, really, shouldn't I?